Hey guys, remember when the show used to be about good fanfics, and we used to read fanfics that were enjoyable and made people smile, and to show off stories that never really gotten a chance before? Good times. Oh, sorry, you're probably wondering why I made a clip of that. Very, very simple. Because this fic has been making me go through a freaking clip show for the past 3 chapters, and it's getting annoying. So here's Ice in the back of his head, part 3. Woo. I saved you, honey. Don't you see? I saved you. Completely off topic, but I just finished watching Amazing Spider-Man 2. Got fun. Not, not the pinnacle that I remembered, but it was kind of enjoyable. I still enjoyed it. Neck's broken. Neck's broken. What was I thinking? Pierre clenched his hand into a fist and slammed to the ground, shattering the concrete. Stopped Gwen too quickly. Breaking his hand over his face, Spider-Man shook his head. I killed Gwen. Meanwhile, Twilight and Celestia are continuing their commentary like this is a freaking story that I'm reviewing. Romantic idiot. She was dead before your wedding reached her. A fall from that height would have killed anyone before they struck the ground. Goblin yelled, hovering several feet from Spider-Man's glare. But for you, my friend, death will come more quickly and surely than the shock of a sudden fall. Celeste, taking advantage of the emotionally distraught Pierre, Osborn raced into his pockets, retrieved a pair of miniature pumpkins before tossing it towards Spider-Man. They detonated inches from the young man, engulfing his body in an orange cloud of smoke. Pierre staggered from the cloud, away from Gwen's body. Before he could recover, Goblin sped past him, managing to lasso a metal cord around Spider-Man's waist. Unable to free himself, Pierre was dragged across the air at high speed. Unfortunately, the journey was brief once the pair reached an abandoned building on the edge of the city. Goblin cackled as he broke the cord from his glider, leaving Spider-Man to burst through the stone wall with no hope of bracing himself. Pierre fell for several moments on the inside of the building, but as he approached the steel beams at the bottom, the young man saw a strand of webbing across the other side of the room and rose momentum to solid ground, crashing through another wall in the process. Not completely sure if I like or hate that this just mixed the end scene of the first Spider-Man movie plus the Gwen death. Speaking of which, guys, I swear, when I play the new Spider-Man PS4 game with photo mode, I'm going to swing to the bridge where Gwen died. And I'm going to have Spider-Man sit there or find a place to rest. And I'm going to take a photo. And then I'm going to label it Remembering. And I'm just going to take a picture of him in the sky. Spider-Man rose from the wreckage, only to find a pumpkin bomb at inch from his face. With no chance to react, Pierce's face and body were engulfed in a fire explosion. The shock of the blast sent the young man flying across the room until he smashed into the wall, falling limply to the ground. The explosion burnt away a majority of his mask. The moment Goblin raised his position, the images within the ball blurred. Oh, come on! Again with the light flashing through your eyes! Much like the series of rescues we watched earlier, the encounters between Gwen and Green Goblin and Spider-Man were numerous, too much to count. From the first meeting during the city parade to the... Again, I'm not completely sure if I enjoy the fact that they're mixing the Spider-Man movie continuity with almost everything else or not. I mean, on the one hand, cool to see this writer trying to mix everything. On the other hand, it's about as annoying as when they do it on the Sonic stories. Sorry. I mean, on the one hand, I think it's kind of cool that they're doing it. I mean, that's what the movies have always done. Taking little bits and pieces from various Spider-Man media and mix them. I also know that there have been a few cartoons that do the same. Grab bits and pieces of the Spider-Man media and mix them all together, creating a new cohesive whole. On the other hand, I hate it when the Sonic fandom does it because it's annoying as sin. And it's kind of annoying here, because this is just mixing all over the place. However, when it comes to the Sonic stuff, it does feel disjointed because none of these continuities can match. Because certain plot elements do make it hard for it to mix. However, Spider-Man has done well enough that you could take bits of the movie, bits of the show, bits of the comics, and mix them to their fated encounter when they discovered each other's identities. Each battle was fierce, taking a toll on both men's personal lives. Osborn went so far in his vendetta against Peter that he attacked the young man's aunt, sending her to the hospital. For a temporary moment, the crystal ball fell on the image of Peter holding Aunt May's hand as she rested in her bed. I would read the lines down below that Verity and Luna are saying, but I think you guys have probably had enough of me ranting about how stupid some of this stuff is, and how it's getting to the point where it's going to become repetitive. I'll just say this. One of the more tragic aspects of Goblin and Pierre's relationship is this. Norman Osborn is still a human. Norman Osborn is still very much Harry's son. For me, the best Goblin stories are the ones that try to mix it up and try to show that this is a man fighting with his own insanity and his own powers, much as Pierre is facing off against his own responsibility and his own strength. This is why I love the movie so much, with the relationship between William Dafoe's Norman and his Goblin. We see a man who is both broken, very much the same way Pierre is, but at the same point, insane. If you have him just being an insane criminal mastermind, you're kind of making Goblin just a Joker knockoff, when Goblin's different. I guess this is one of the things that also annoy me about Monster Goblin from Ultimate Spider-Man, because at certain points I feel like he's less of a good developed character and more like just a combination, a knockoff of Hulk and Lex Luthor. And I kind of don't want Norman to be that. Also, the dialogue above is basically Luna saying how, oh, Nightmare Moon and Discord were different, and how, oh, Norman Osborn's irredeemable, yada, yada, yada. I have a problem with that. I've got loads of problems with this. Because once again, it's time to play, the Marvel villains are worse than these Pony villains, so thus the Marvel universe is better than Pony. Again, I feel like this guy loves the show, but at the same time, feels like the writing just keeps wanting me to say he hates it. The bright flashlight, the battle between Spider-Man and Osborn resumed, indicating Peter's flashbacks had ceased. Oh, and I should also mention, this is one of the downsides of Amazing Spider-Man 2, is that they took that relationship away and just made Harry insane. Whoa. Young man forced himself to his feet. In his dazed state of mind, threw a wild punch towards his aggressor. Goblin ducked underneath the attack, retaliating with a swift body blow, knocking the wind out of Peter. He continued the offensive, punching the exposed portion of Spider-Man's face repeatedly until blood was drawn. Yada yada yada. Osborn lifted Pierre over his head before driving his shoulder directly over his knee, igniting a snap that echoed across the room. Goblin tossed Pierre off to the side, allowing the young man to clutch at his shoulder. How does it feel to once again let a friend down, Parker? You seem to have a history of following your friends and loved ones. Spider-Man extended his hand, but Osborn stopped his wrist. making it impossible for him to deploy any webbing. Your beloved Aunt May, who asked so little of you and deserved exactly that, until she was taken from you. Dear sweet Gwendolyn, your deceased girlfriend who died so young. You fail her as you do everyone else who gets close to you. You know, I kind of do miss the curb stop battle that Peter gave Green Goblin in the comic. Then again, do you guys remember why Norman went Green Goblin in the comic and went after Gwen? Harry got really, really sick because LSD, his drug problems kicked in. And this kicked him into overdrive, blaming Spider-Man for what happened. And he thought he could take everything from Peter, just like everything was taken from him. And there's a reason why I love those two comics. Grinding his teeth, Peter growled at each seeming to receive. It's because I always like guys like you. Go! Goblin reared down through a punching for Peter's head. Spider-Man freed his hand from underneath Osborn's fort, using it to cast his attacker's fists. Before Goblin could react, Peter tightened his grip, causing a bone or two to snap at Osborn's hand. Spider-Man rose to his feet, and Goblin fell to a knee, but he trembled. Finding the glaring scowl of fear, his face unsettling, snarling. Peter brought his fist back. It ends tonight, Osborn! It ends tonight! It ends tonight! The color in his eyes disappeared, morphing to a hideous jet black. His voice grew deeper, sounding so monstrous and demonic. Driving his fist between the Goblin's eyes, Peter screamed at the top of his lungs as he launched Osborn into a wall. Have you guys noticed that Harry has been mentioned once in this whole story? Harry used his webbing to pull the stone wall over Osborn, crushing the man under the weight. Somehow, Goblin rose from the debris, but Peter was quick to react, propelling the man into the air. Launching a string of webbing to his chest, Spider-Man snatched it with all his might, slammed Osborn to the ground in the back of his head. Clenching his fists as tightly as possible, Spider-Man reared his back, slamming Osborn into the wall by his collar, ready to fist his few once for all. But Peter sighed, relinquished his grip from the Goblin. Hazel color returned to his eyes, and with the help of a series of paced breaths, the scowl Peter's face disappeared. Sorrowful expression to take its fate place. Blood from his mouth, Goblin slowly made his way to his feet, glaring at Spider-Man. You'll kill me. You know this ends only one of us dies. Peter closed his eyes and exhaled. Your dreams, Osborn. I'll never kill. He stepped forward, placing his hand on the protrusion of his own collar. Not even you. Goblin smiled, dismissed, stern returning to his face. Godspeed, Spider-Man. Goblin's gyre spinning from behind with a razor-sharp blade that sheathed down the nose, threatening to impale Peter from behind. At the last moment, Peter flipped high into the air, managed to avoid the gyre by a couple of inches, but Goblin was in the machine's line of sight with no time to defend himself. Full speed, the gyre pierced through Osborn's sternum, lifted him from the ground. Quickly, he bit into the wall, with Goblin perched unconsciously on stone and steel. Crucified, but not on a cross of gold, but on a plate of tin and metal. Wait a second. So, we did this? We done the whole death of Green Goblin bit and the death of Gwen Stacy? Well, then this can only mean that this isn't Norman at all. It's Harry. Wow. What if we talked more about Spider-Man's friendship with Harry Osborn? How could this possibly, be an eternal struggle between Peter having to deal with his own friend? And, wow, considering Twilight's belief in friendship, can you guys think about it? This is Peter Parker having to deal with the fact that his own friend now has the powers of Discord and wants to kill him. This could be really, really exciting to see. Twilight has to deal with the fact that two friends are facing off against each other. Can he actually find harmony between the two? And What about Peter's relationship with Harry? We can see so much about what Harry's doing right now, all simply from this moment. Wow, maybe this might be able to patch up. So, tell me, when does Harry Osborn come in? Osborn's evil was his own undoing, Luna whispered, shaking her head. Somehow, he managed to survive a fatal wound. We will be forced to take drastic measures upon his arrival. Discourse abilities on its disposal. I'm sorry, guys. I just came back. I went to a weird place. That sentence sent me into a very weird place. I don't know how to describe that place, and I don't wish to go back. But that sentence, it hit me hard. Somehow he managed to survive a fatal wound? That's our explanation of why it's Norman and not Harry? You would practically excuse me a sec. Yep, here it is. This is a silver plate. You were granted a chance to have a really good plot point here. To instead have it be Norman, be Harry freaking Osborn, and really get into the meanings of friendship, caring, compassion that Pony strides in, and the feelings of hope and messages of heroism that Spider-Man deals with. We could have had some excellent character moments here, but instead, you took it away to do it. Somehow, he survived a fatal wound. Talk about missed opportunities! Norman should have died! Then we could have had it be Harry Osborn who got the Discord powers. It could have been Harry as the new Goblin. Then Spider-Man would have had to face off with the fact that it was his new best friend that was that could potentially kill his peace and happiness. We could deal with Twilight having to deal with his friendship facing off against each other. We could have the main six trying to work with Peter to try to work through compassion and trying to fix things up with his friend. We could have Harry dealing with his own internal struggles. We could have made Harry a good three-dimensional villain, but you fucked it up! You were gift-wrapped this! You were handed to you! Personally, I would have killed Norman. And at that point, that's when Peter's mind combined all the clues together and suddenly realized it wasn't Norman, it was Harry Osborn. Twilight sees flashbacks of all of Peter's friendship moments with Harry. The two bond. Boom! But no! Hell, you could even have Twilight feel down that what's going to happen if she ever had to face off against an evil version of her friends? See? You could have had those two bond. But no! It's like missed opportunity by cutting out MJ. Why? You should have killed Norman! And I find myself saying that during the Clone Saga, too. Forcing the lump down her throat with a swallow, Twilight faced up. You're right, Luna. It's going to be dangerous. The fate of the world hangs in the balance. Not just Equestria, but in danger if we fail to stop Osborn. But I will not stand by and let Peter fight this on his own. No matter what happens, I'm going to be there by his side. He's been alone too long. I plan on changing that. You know, except for all the times he's teamed up with the X-Men, all those times he's teamed up with the Avengers, all those times he's teamed up with the Fantastic Four, all the times that he's teamed up with etc., etc., etc. The corner of Luna's lips curled to a smirk. I second your opinion, Twilight Sparkle. Although, didn't we already establish this? Peter's equestrian. It's my solemn oath to protect every pony. Although, the smile was genuine and grew warmer. I'm afraid to admit that I am not doing this out of friendship. Please tell me it's vengeance. Don't think I'm gonna let you two have all the fun. Peter's my friend too. Besides, Osborn's got a butt-kicking coming. Verity tried over, pressed a strand of mane behind her ear. Honestly, I detest violence. I'm a lady of nobility after all, but I'll toss anyone who lays a hoof on Peter. Pinkie Pie bounced over a growl before remaining inflated back in poofy form. I am too! Keynes continued to nudge Fluttershy, attempting to wake Pegasus up. After failing several times, the Alicorn weakly nodded and smiled. Fuck you. Nope, not having this. I'm going to help too. Yeah, the story's going to try to put me asleep, but I'm not having it. No, I'm going to say I do it too. Keynes gave the girls a stern expression. It's my kingdom that Osborn threatens to defile. Princess of the Crystal Empire, I promise to fake us as evil. As Prince of the Crystal Empire, you have my vow as well. Pierre saved my life during our encounter with Sombra. I promise to get him through this. My word is nothing in comparison to all yours. And Trixie is not necessarily known for her fighting prowess. You know, if this was my story, Trixie would be kicking ass with illusions. But this is not my story. No, if this was your story, MJ would be here, we would be fighting Harry, and Twilight would be shit with me, wouldn't she? You or Flash, I'm not completely sure. When it comes to my Twilight ships, I'm very flexible. There would be some fluttered ass in there. You know it. And some rare attack. Bingo! My life would be in shambles if I never met Peter. Even certain doom. I will gladly stand by the idiot's side. Now we are certain. Peter has no doubt proved his worth and earned our trust completely. What? Peter has no doubt proven his worth and earned our trust completely. What? What? He now earned your trust? What the? I can't freaking believe this. Stupid! Stupid! This was so stupid! Do you remember those days when you're just happy? Well, I don't anymore! Whoa. A cow is looking at me, guys. He has something to say. Obey! Twilight! This won't stop the pain! Why? Only a few more days. Only a few more days. Only a few more days. I'm sorry, guys. My mind went places after that. I don't know what happened. I hope this video isn't going to get flagged for copyright. What do you think, Bebo? Ernie smiles and nods from every pony in the room. After a moment, she allowed herself to grin. The coronation will proceed as planned first thing tomorrow evening. I trust there are no objections. I have a few. Why do we have to suffer through a clip show for this? The entire room grew silent, but there was no air of tension to be felt. All life in the crystal ball vanished, and all traces of magical energy poured into Pierre's slumped body. Slowly but surely, the stallion rose to life of a slur, groaning as he stumbled from his seat. Small sparks of electricity escaped from his horn, but he eventually ceased, allowing Pierre to let out a gaping yawn. As he lifted his gaze to meet the others in the room, a pair of hooves wrapped around his neck. As he finally managed to recollect his sense, Pierre recognized the pink embodiment that was embracing him so easily. Pinky? Why? Pierre asked inwardly, hesitantly raising hope to return to the embrace. Not that I don't appreciate this, but can you tell me what I missed? I sort of blanked out for a moment. Ian's raised a brow. You don't remember? I'm trying to forget. That's why I'm drinking. Some people drink to remember. I drink to forget. Just showcase your memories into the crystal ball. Peter stammered, blessing his Pinkie Pie nuzzled further to his side. His concentration nearly snapped once Rarity joined in, rubbing her head against the underside of the stallion's muzzle, filled with senses and the scent of vanilla. I actually did it? I don't remember any of it. How much did you see? Nearly everything, I'm afraid. Including the redhead, saying I replied, furrowing his brow. The day you discovered your powers, the moment you lost your uncle and Gwen, not to mention your last encounter with Osborn. Saw plenty in between, but I think you get the hint. Shining glared at his ball intently. Don't understand. To cast a memory spell, the point performing it must be conscious for the duration. That is, Unless you actually transferred your memories to the crystal ball. But that's impossible. I doubt your magic is that powerful. So do I! Pierre's eyes widened. He stepped away from those embracing him, seeking his disbelief. You stole everything? I didn't mean for that to happen. Biting down his lip, the stallion paced back and forth with his gaze fixed on the ground. His mind ran, thinking of what his friends saw. But he could only get himself to stop in his tracks and lower his head shamefully. I'm sorry. Didn't want to see you the mistakes you made. You'll probably think I'm horrible now. Oh, for Pete's sake, get over yourself! Unbelievable. Thank you, Trixie. We watched you say countless lies and endure hardships, but you still think you're horrible? In contrast to her harsh demeanor, Trixie wrapped her hands around Pierre's neck, but he embraced his beef, lasting only a few seconds. The mayor scowled away to her dismissively. You really are an idiot, Parker! I'm with Trixie on this. Rainbow Dash sipped over her glare inches from Pierre. We're gonna fix that about you. You're a great boy, so stop thinking everything's supposed to go badly for you. You're not alone, so... Get over yourself! Pinky and Rarity returned to their positions and nuzzled the stallion. Baffled, Pierre scratched the back of his head, getting a stare glance of every pony in the room. So, you're okay with Yes! Stallion eventually closed himself, but instead of embracing the stallion, he leaned forward and gave a kiss on his cheek. Oh, that wasn't me messing up. That was the grammar. It really says he leaned forward and planted a kiss on his cheek. I don't know, just thinking that this got changed. Gay self-insert. That makes me happy. Oh, not that the gay is silly. But it would finally be something original, something I've always wanted. Nobody's perfect, Peter. You're pretty close to my eyes, she whispered. There's so much more the Alcorn wanted to say, but I had to wait until later, preferably behind closed doors. Now, she settled in a friendly week and small tease before clearing her throat. We'll have to talk about this for Lisa Hardy later. Fear chuckled sheepishly. Yeah, I guess we do. There was more he wanted to say, to himself and the girls, in Twilight. But now hardly seemed like the appropriate time. However, their words meant so much, and he helped ease his troubled mind. Although he still felt the need to gather his thoughts, Peter managed to ease out of his combined grasp of Pinky and Rarity, but prayed their affection, giving both a deeply sustained tug of peace. While her back was turned, Peter hugged Trixie from behind, causing a drastic temperature to increase between them air. Simply shrugged, not wanting to embarrass herself. Turned to Stallion stole a hug from Rainbow Dash before she could react. Her host was ready to punch Pierre, but hugged him back anyway. So was Pierre's line of sight, but his mind yelled out, reminding Stallion of his mare's disapproval for public affection. For her sake, he would be brief, but for his own, he would be sound. He requested the tips of his mare's muzzle, earning a stifled giggle in response. Thank you, girls. Really, this means a lot. His eyes widened in a late realization. He scanned the room for a moment, brow furrowing at a peculiar sight, or lack of. Hey, where's the Applejack? Rarity blinked, using her to conceal a gasp. Oh my, Applejack! Seen that some time ago. She was quite troubled after witnessing what happened to your uncle. Pierre studied Rarity's worried expression, puzzled. That right? The stallion remained still, tapping his hoof lightly against the marble. Turning it softly, he tried out of the room, stopped by the door. I need some air, but I'll talk with Applejack. Not giving any pony time to stop him, Pierre closed the door behind him, and hastily climbed out the nearest window. Leaping across the rooftops, the stallion furrowed his brow. Applejack, this is about your parents, isn't it?